Hey, what's going on, guys? So we're going to talk about G4 and how they're no longer. As I'm sure you've all heard and have seen, and it's all over YouTube, but G4 is done. Comcast pulled the plug on G4. So let's get into it. Let's see what happened. I want to talk about what I liked about it, disliked about it, my relationship with G4, and let's just go. Let's just get into it. So first off, I'm just going to scroll down straight to the letter the CEO sent right here. Team, as you know, G4 was reintroduced last year to tap into the popularity of gaming. We invested to create a new G4 as an online and TV destination for fans to be entertained, be inspired, and connect with gaming content. I don't know if they did that great of inspiration. This time around, I will say, we'll get into it later, but the old X-Play and Attack of the Show really inspired me. But we'll get into that. Over the past several months, we worked hard to generate that interest in G4, but viewership is low and the network has not achieved sustainable financial results. Saw that one coming easily. This is certainly not what we hoped for, and as a result, we have made the very difficult decision to discontinue G4 operations effective immediately. So they are gone, meaning no more G4 whatsoever. I know that this is disappointing news, and I am disappointed too. I want to thank you and everyone on G4 team for the hard work and commitment to the network. Our human resource team is reaching out to you to provide you with support, discuss other opportunities that may be available, and answer any questions you may have. Thank you again for all your hard work for G4. Sincerely, David Scott. I was so excited to hear that G4 was coming back. I saw a tweet, or no, I saw a message on YouTube. I saw something somewhere on the internet that said G4 is coming back. Here's the trailer, or here's what we're doing, and it was the Thanksgiving Day announcement, basically, right? So they had Olivia Munn, Morgan Webb, Adam Sessler, Kevin Pereira. They had all of the big guys there, and they had a comedian who was in there hosting it, and they even had Olivia Munn and Kevin Pereira get up and do a little Attack of the Show, like newsfeed. Like, it was great. I was so excited that it was going to come back. And then when it came back, it wasn't the same. But my excitement for G4 coming back was high. I set an alarm to make sure I watched the premiere when the first premiere came out. When they were doing the pre-launch stuff, I watched all of it, and I didn't really like it. They had an esports show, and it was just like they were just cussing in the title, and I was turned off by it. And that was my first introduction to Frosk, and they were just making fun of each other, and I thought that was kind of fun. They were poking fun at each other, this and that, and making, like, I could see where they were trying to go with that, but they didn't really push it any further. They kind of stopped there. I don't know who got upset or what was going on, but that was fine. That was the choice they wanted to choose, or the direction they wanted to go, and okay. And then when it actually launched, that's when I watched the first episode of Attack of the Show, and I was very, very underwhelmed. I don't even think I watched it all the way through. I just wasn't for me. I realized, like, either this channel, this show, I grew up out of it, or they changed something, and I do think they drastically changed things. I wish they left it the way it was as best as they could. Yeah, they couldn't get the same cast. Okay, Olivia Munn was gone, but obviously Kevin Pereira was on board. All right, and I know they were trying to put this out on cable, right? Comcast had their own channel for it on cable. I don't have cable. I'm in a cable cutter a long time ago. I only have the internet and I stream things, but they could have made it more of a format, more of a TV format on what they used to do, right? An hour-long show. Didn't have to be every night. It could be like twice a week or whatever they wanted to do. Once a week, right? Like a once-a-week show. And I think it would have been great if they had the same format, right? Different segments like tech sections. What's the latest tech coming out? It doesn't have to be video games. It could be phones, right? It could be tablets. It could be computers, right? Everyone's always talking about the newest graphics card or the newest Xbox. It seems like every year Xbox has something coming out. There's something in the news right now about a digital only little cloud streaming console, right? Then Stadia dropped, or Stadia discontinued a while ago, but or announced it's going to discontinue. But there's always some tech. Like, talk about more tech like they used to. Talk about movies coming out, like different media. Comic-Con. Talk about Comic-Con stuff. Like, it wasn't the same. They were just watching videos on the internet. Like, what is that? I don't want to watch videos on the internet and see your reaction. Like, if that's what you want, don't call it Attack of the Show. Don't call it G4. Call it Kevin Pereira and random Twitch streamers watch and react to videos on the internet, right? I don't know. I was super disappointed in G4, and clearly everybody else was too, and that's why they didn't have any viewers. I don't think that was just Frosk that turned everybody off and made everybody not want to watch, but she didn't help it, right? Like I was saying, as soon as she said what she said, I didn't feel bad for not watching, and I got her message. I'm not trying to say women need to be objectified for me to watch a TV show. No, but I mean, it is TV, right? Anyways, all right. So what G4 was to me, and how I saw everything. So when I first heard about G4, this was back in high school. So I graduated high school as a young potato in 2006, right? I grew up in the outside of Chicago, as you guys can tell by my accent. But I grew up in the suburbs of Chicago, and G4 was a nightly routine for me, right? My parents had the cable channel, but I found out about G4 from a friend. I remember being in school. My buddy just randomly said, "Hey, did you know that there's a gaming network just in the middle of news channels on so-and-so cable?" I was like, "What are you talking about?" He was telling me all about it. Happened that my dad had that cable network or cable provider, right? I hop in there. I find G4. Oh my God, was I blown away with X-Play, Attack of the Show, my top two favorites. But I also liked that gameplay channel where I forgot the name of it, or Cinema. I forget exactly what they called it. But they just played video games, and you just watched it. And then you had cheaters. Well, cheat code. It was another 30-minute show where it just talked about game cheats. G4 to me was a place for me to get my news, to see Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb on X-Play sit down, tell me everything that's coming out on my OG Xbox, and then I watch them through the transformation to the Xbox 360. And I specifically remember them talking about the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, and they said, it's no longer next-gen hardware. This is this-gen hardware. And I thought to myself, dang, that's right. That 360 is now this-gen. That is the new stuff. Now, fast forward 2022, where the Xbox Series X is sitting in front of me, and my original Xbox is on top of that. That's underneath my Xbox One. Like, what I'm saying here is we got many generations later, and I'm still, involved in gaming. Obviously, got my own YouTube channel. But anyways, X-Play was my favorite show on G4. And then Attack of the Show, AOTS, second favorite. I tried to watch this one nightly, but it was harder to catch because it was on every day. But Kevin Pereira and not Morgan Webb, Olivia Munn, awesome team. Awesome. Kevin Pereira to me was hilarious. He had funny jokes, just dogging on Olivia all the time, and the interns. It was fun. Olivia Munn, knockout. I mean, she dated Aaron Rodgers, for Christ's sakes. Like, I'm a Bears fan, okay? But I give that dude some respect when he's dating Olivia Munn. He's dating some other actress now, but I don't care. She's not as hot as Olivia Munn, all right? But we'll get into frosting in a minute. I know I'm bouncing around. I'm kind of looking at my notes, but I'm just here rambling. This is just a potato getting everything off his spuds here. So anyways, let's go into why I think G4 failed. The new G4 failed. So if you look at Attack of the Show, or whatever they called Attack of the Show for the new version, we're going to call it the 2021 version, right? When they relaunched it. Or the relaunch, right? We'll call it the relaunch. It was like they're trying to build off the Twitch stream IRL type deal. Like, they had a cast, but it wasn't the same. It wasn't the tight-knit group that Olivia Munn and Kevin Pereira had. They had Kevin Pereira, but Olivia Munn did not return. And I wasn't upset. I was disappointed. We'll say that. I was pretty disappointed that Olivia Munn didn't come back, but I kind of understood. Like, she's moved on to other things, and Kevin Pereira, I guess, didn't really. But that's neither here or there, and that's not a diss on Kevin whatsoever. I still love the man, and he was the reason I tuned in, right? Him and Adam Sessler are the reason why I went back to G4 for a little while. We'll get into that. But Attack of the Show wasn't like what it was before. They had Kevin talking about something, but it always seemed like all they ever talked about was little clips they found online. Like, look at this little YouTube clip. Look at this TikTok clip. Well, if you know anything about me, I hate TikTok. I think it's an evil company and is ran by Chinese, but not getting into that. If I wanted to sit around and watch little clips on YouTube or Facebook, I could do that. I don't need a game network to show me that. It has nothing to do with anything I want. Yes, funny at times, but it shouldn't be a 2-hour-long segment. And then the other cast, the other people that sat there on the couch, they were just annoying. Like, they didn't really provide much of anything. Like, yeah, they were kind of comic relief, but they were more or less kind of just being annoying over there. So over there on the side. So Attack of the Show was not what it was prior. Like, Attack of the Show had segments. Like, a new DVD's coming out on Tuesday, DVD Tuesday. Attack of the Show wasn't what it used to be, plain and simple. All right, I did not enjoy it. I watched about 2 episodes, lost my interest. I never went back. X-Play. Let's get into X-Play. What the heck was with Adam Sessler sitting in his house with headphones? Like, he couldn't get his own set. He couldn't get someone else to sit there and talk about games, like in his own studio, like they had for Attack of the Show. Like, the X-Play studio with the original X-Play studio, well, they had many iterations, but the original series, we'll say the old one, had Adam Sessler and Morgan Webb talking to each other, like, they were the hosts of the show. It was a show. It was awesome. They had segments on different games coming out. It's where you got your news from. And I understand YouTube has taken over. And if you want to know about something, all you do is go on YouTube and look up the newest games. Like right now, this might date this video, but Overwatch 2 just got released. Really, it's Overwatch 1.1, right? Or just the shop overhaul. It's the same game. Well, let's not talk about Overwatch. I know I'm going down rabbit holes, but X-Play wasn't what it used to be. They came out and they had Adam Sessler review games. He could do that on his own YouTube channel. Adam Sessler didn't need X-Play to come back. If Adam Sessler starts his own YouTube channel, I'm going to subscribe and watch. I know he does other stuff behind the scenes in gaming. He's still a part of gaming, and I think he's awesome. He's one of my favorite faces of the game media. I'm not sure exactly where he's going to go from here. He might not even be sure. But I want Adam Sessler to still review games. Now let's touch on the Frosk rant. So she had some good points in the rant. I know, hot take, whatever. Her points was she didn't like being objectified, and I can understand that. As a male potato, I gotta watch my words here. Let's be real. The idea of someone trying to objectify me is kind of silly, right? So I don't understand the same feeling she felt, but she did not need to go on the rant that she did at that time. There's a time and a place for rants, and she had a platform, so she tried to put it out. But her last words were, if you don't like it, don't watch it. Peace. That rubbed everyone the wrong way. And yes, I understand that she doesn't want to be up there just because she doesn't look a certain way. She shouldn't be treated a certain way. Well, I'm sorry. It's TV. Like, men are going to look at the girls. Like I said earlier, Olivia Munn, Morgan Webb. Like, okay. Right, I was a teenager back then when I was watching this, and I very much enjoyed looking at those two. So Adam Sessler and Kevin Pereira were there. They were great hosts. I like them, but I don't look at them the same. I look up to them 100%, but I think you guys get what I'm saying. So let's talk about why it failed. Going back on the Frosk rant, I don't think G4 failed because of Frosk. She didn't help it. She definitely accelerated the process to put G4 out of its misery 100%. She literally told people not to watch it. And honestly, I wasn't watching at that point. I had dropped X-Play, G4 off of my YouTube subs because they kept popping up constantly, new stuff coming up. I didn't care about like 80% of it, but if I saw something about Adam Sessler, I'd click on him, wouldn't subscribe, but I'd watch that and be like, all right, that was fine, and then maybe I'll see something later here and there. I wasn't that excited about watching G4 anymore at that time. So So this is where I'm going to end it. G4 is gone. You know, sad to see it go. October 17th, 2022, news breaks. G4 has been gone. All right. I love G4 for what it was back in the day. I loved it. I remember sitting in my basement watching it all the time as I went over that. Like, it was great. I was excited for the relaunch, you know. It underwhelming, right? It failed because the shows were not of the same of the past. It was different. It was not the same shows, right? Attack of the Show wasn't anything great. I'm sorry. Just seemed like another internet talk show. And like I said, we didn't get Morgan Webb and Olivia Munn back, but you know, I understand. So that's my take. It might be a hot take. I don't know, but I miss G4. I don't think G4 is ever coming back again. If Adam Sessler or Kevin Pereira want to start a YouTube channel, I'm already subscribed to Kevin Pereira, so maybe they'll start putting out gaming content, and I'll watch it. Those are the only two I'll watch from that show. Everybody else that I was introduced, well, I know of the Completionist, right? I watched the Completionist. I'm subbed to him, but everybody else, I'm going to continue not avoiding, but not really caring about. So I hope you all have a good day. Thanks for watching.